I've always gravitated towards Naruto ever since I was a kid. He was always so warm and kind despite everything that he's been through, and his tenacity to choose kindness over hate saved me. This year will make it 10 years since the original manga has ended. And to this day, I cannot stop thinking about my #1 hyperactive, knuckle-headed ninja, Naruto Uzumaki. Growing up in the early 2000s, I used to watch TV all the time. And children's TV at the time was all just happy and silly and fun kind of shows. But when I started watching Naruto and anime, I realized how dark and depressing and sad cartoons and animation could be. And I didn't know that at the time, that's exactly what I needed. My home life growing up wasn't always the best, and it was challenging and tough, and a lot of the times I really didn't want to be in that house. So I turned to TV as a way to escape reality and to not think about what I was going through at home. But the one show that wouldn't let me forget what I was going through was Naruto. As a kid, you don't know how to process your own emotions because you don't know what your feeling is called. I didn't know that I was going through really tough times or that I was really just sad, and I didn't know that was because of the external stimuluses around me that was causing this pain inside of me that just wouldn't go away. But when I watched Naruto and I saw this kid go through so much sadness, so much loneliness, so much hatred for those who treated him differently, I really could connect with Naruto. And it was oddly cathartic because for many years of my life, I did not know how to express how I was feeling or even how to deal with what I was feeling. And there was no one on TV showcasing what depression or sadness was like and how to deal with it. So I just internalized it and put it away. But Naruto became a light that pulled me out of my own darkness. And I will never forget the moment that it actually happened. It was during the first arc of Naruto, the Land of Waves arc, where Team 7 was tasked with protecting a bridge maker named Tazuna. Tazuna was going to create a bridge to connect the Land of Waves to the Land of Fire because as of right now, a criminal organization has taken over the Land of Waves and they were isolated from the rest of the world. Tazuna's grandson lost his father to the criminal organization for standing up and trying to protect the village. It was at this time that Inari lost all hope for things to get better for the Land of Waves. And as a viewer, we all sympathized with what Inari was going through and we tried to understand his pain and see where he was coming from. The only one that didn't cut him any slack was Naruto. Naruto called out Inari for being a coward and for not actually standing up for himself. And as a kid, I was so confused with Naruto saying this, especially because Naruto understands exactly what Inari has been through, so I thought that him of all people would be able to be sympathetic and understanding for what Inari has been through. But it wasn't until Kakashi talked to Inari, and Kakashi's speech to Inari really changed fundamental characters of who I am.
Naruto can be a little harsh sometimes. You probably don't know this, but Naruto also grew up without a father. In fact, he never knew either of his parents, and he didn't have a single friend in our village.
Huh?
Still, I've never seen him cry, sulk, or give up. He's always eager to jump in. He wants to be respected. That's his dream, and he'll put his life on the line for that, in a heartbeat. My guess is he just got tired of crying and decided to do something about it. Even though he's young and still learning, he knows what it means to be strong, like your father did. I think he knows better than any of us what you're going through. What Naruto told you earlier, as cruel as it sounded, he's probably told himself that 1,000 times.
And at the time, I didn't realize the effect this speech would have on me and my new outlook on life until I was in my adult years reflecting on why I had this sudden change when I was a kid. Hearing Kakashi say that Naruto got tired of crying and decided to do something about it was like a wake-up call to me. For the longest time, I would feel sorry for the situation I was in and didn't think that there was anything I could do about it. But seeing Naruto, who had a life that was similar to mine but way worse, still come out of it positive and happy, really showed me that I could do the same thing. And I think that's the first of many lessons I've learned from Naruto and just his character, that no matter what happens to you, You decide how you react to the situations you're in. You can only do so much about the cards that have been dealt to you, but do what you can to make the most of it. And from that moment on, I started watching Naruto and paying attention to his journey very, very closely. At first, Naruto only wanted to become Hokage just so he would be recognized and not ignored anymore. It was a very selfish and childish reason to wanting to be the leader of your entire village. But as he goes through the story, you see him evolve and change. And one of my favorite things about Naruto that I think is highly underrated is that all the fights are very symbolic. It's usually not about who is stronger or who has the better jutsus, but it's more idealistic. The shinobi world is one of the cruelest landscapes to be brought up in, and Naruto has always been an outsider, not accepted by the village or the ninjas of the Hidden Leaf. And because of that, Naruto has been able to see the injustice and the cruelty of the ninja world. And no one has ever questioned it before. They just did what they were told and followed the rules. But someone who existed outside of those set of rules has to be the one to change it. And as the series progresses, Naruto comes into contact with a lot of different characters with opposing morals and ideologies. And as Naruto is the essence of change, he interacts with these characters to help them question their beliefs or at least understand where they are coming from. And Naruto's actions actually result in real-world change that he wants to see. We see that Gaara, after fighting Naruto, has become the Kazekage and the most respected leader in the Hidden Sand, a goal that Naruto has always been trying to get to. And before this point, no one would have recognized a Jinchuriki as a Kage because they would have been too afraid of the power or demonized the person who was the Jinchuriki. But because Naruto set Gaara on the right path, and Gaara was able to become the Kazekage by prioritizing love and trust as opposed to hate, which he used to operate on. And Naruto, by all means, is not perfect. He is still immature and at times very selfish, but the story doesn't reward him when he is acting on those feelings. Naruto vs. Sasuke Part 1 and Naruto vs. Pain are perfect examples of where Naruto was wrong and couldn't overcome the hurdles in front of him because his ideas and reasonings were flawed. When Naruto fought Sasuke for the first time, he operated purely out of selfish reasons of not losing a friend. He didn't care for what Sasuke was going through or to empathize with his journey, and because of that, it resulted in Sasuke winning and leaving the village. The same could be said about Pain. Naruto did not try to sympathize or understand what Nagato was going through until Nagato started talking about the cycle of pain. And that hatred is not just exclusive to Naruto, that everyone else in the world interacts and deals with hatred in their own way, and that it is a cycle that has not been broken for the entirety of history and is not going away anytime soon. And it's at this time that Naruto begins to question his own belief in himself and his ideology as to how to tackle such a complex problem. But remembering the lesson he taught Inari back in the first arc, he can do what he can to the best of his ability in any situation, and it's infinitely better than doing nothing. And so he has a talk with Nagato and really tries to understand his perspective and come to a resolution together about how to break the cycle of hatred. And it leads to Nagato putting his faith in Naruto to find a solution that he wasn't able to find. And I think that talking through problems, and as the fandom has called it, the talk no jutsu, is super underrated just because this is how you make real change. The world right now is so divisive and polarizing that if you think differently than those around you, you are ostracized from that group. There is no middle ground where both people can understand each other and respect each other's beliefs. I think that's so sad because everyone is entitled to their own opinions and they can believe what they want, but it doesn't make you lesser for having a difference in opinion, and you shouldn't give up trying to connect with others who just think differently than you. Sasuke cut everyone off because he couldn't see their perspective and they didn't see his. He shut down those around him and didn't think anyone would be able to understand him. Thus, he operated on his own to take on the challenges and darknesses that he has faced by himself. But Naruto never gave up on him. Naruto understood that no one is completely lost. You can still reach your hand out to anyone and everybody and still connect with someone. And after everything, Naruto was finally able to break through to Sasuke, and they were able to understand each other. To me, Naruto always represented hope and change. The hope that no matter what you're going through, things can and will get better, and that change is possible, but you have to put in the work to get there. One of my favorite scenes of the whole series is when Karin sees Naruto's chakra for the first time, and she describes it as the complete opposite of Sasuke's. So bright and so warm. And I've lived my life trying to be as warm, as kind, and as understanding as Naruto. I think that is a beautiful message to leave your readers all across the world. And I can't imagine how my life would have been without the #1 hyperactive knuckle-headed ninja, Naruto Uzumaki.